The first thing you will probably want to do in managing your courses will be to create an assignment. You can get to your course through many different ways. You can click on the course title under the course section. You can click on the course tab and then click on the course title. Or if you already have assignments created, you can click on the course title in the tab for your assignments. Either way, it's going to take you to your course. Once you get to your course, you're going to find that you have an overview section. This is where you can go ahead and edit your information on your course. You can put in the course description. You can add any other resources, your syllabus, additional handouts, or anything that you might want the students to be able to download or access from for the course. And then, of course, the next tab is your assignments. And this is the tab we're going to focus on. In your assignment tab, to create a new assignment, you're going to simply click on the new button. You will have to enter a title. Please be descriptive in your title of your assessment so that we know what it is. When I run a report, I'm going to be able to see the assignments, and if everybody called everything a journal, I'm not going to know which journal we're talking about. I'm going to call this a professional teacher portfolio. Okay. And then this box here, we'll go ahead and give our description of what it is. This is where I could give instructions, ask questions, tell them what page they have to go to, whatever the case may be, that could be added to the description. The post date is going to be the date you want the students to be able to see that assignment. If I click on post now, it shows up immediately. If I click on post on, it's going to allow me to actually set the specific date. The good thing about being able to set a date is if you have assignments that are consecutive, that build on each other, you may not want an assignment to show up until after the initial assignment is due, so that students don't try to work ahead and get beyond what they are actually able to do. For this case, I'm going to go ahead though and say post now. Then you'll have to assign a due date, and yes, you do have to fill in all 5 little blocks. I'm going to make this one due December 19th, 2011, and they have to turn it in at 12 a.m. I do want it to be viewable to students. If it's not viewable to students, the students can't turn anything in. On the other hand, there are certain things that you may be assessing the students on that don't require the students to turn anything in, and those are things that you may not want them to be able to see. For example, you may have a course participation where for every class you give them points on their participation. That's not something that the student would actually have to see or be able to turn in, but you can go ahead and create an assignment and manage those grades from within live text from right there. Allow students to retract a submission. My experience is strongly recommend that you leave this checked. Again, this allows a student who has made a mistake, maybe submitted the wrong thing, has made a revision after already submitting, and they can actually retract their submission and submit the correct thing. We have our assessment method, and this is where we would attach the rubric. My question is, what comes first, the assignment or the rubric? In this case, I have already created the rubric that I will be assessing this assignment for, so I can click and identify the assessment that I have created, the rubric, and that's the rubric I'm going to use, and I will insert that document. So you can see that I will be now using a particular rubric for this assignment. Now note, I can continue to insert additional rubrics. You may have more than one rubric per assignment. You might have a rubric that deals with just the writing, and then a second rubric that deals with the actual content. That might be an example of where you have two rubrics. Assessment document viewable to students. Again, I strongly recommend that you allow the students to see how they will be assessed so that they know what is expected of them. You have your assessment type. It can be formative or summative. Publishing grades allows you to, if you have this checked, they will see their grade as soon as you publish it. Otherwise, if you leave it unchecked, they have to wait until the entire class is complete. And then once all the students have been graded, then all the students get to see their grades at the same time. That's up to you whether you check that or not. A new feature in LiveText allows us to have multiple assessors. If you have a portfolio project and you have a team that will be assessing those portfolios, you have the option to hide the assessor name, hide the student's name, so it's an anonymous assessment. You can hold the assessments for reconciliation if there is conflict between between the grades. And then this is where you would add the assessor's names of who all would be assessing. So again, that's a brand new feature in LiveText that allows you to have multiple assessors. You can actually provide them a template from within LiveText, which they can then use to create their assignment. And again, for this portfolio, I have a template called Professional Portfolio. And I click on Insert Document. If I have any resources, I can add resources. I can refer them to web pages that they need to read, or I can attach documents, handouts, PDFs, descriptions, worksheets, whatever you may want them to fill out. Can be added as resources here as well. And last but not least, we can also attach our outcomes and standards according to the standards that this particular assignment assesses. Again, I want to emphasize that this is the standards this particular assignment assesses. Not every standard that is covered in the entire course, only those assessed by this assignment. It's not every standard in the standards. It's only the standards assessed by this assignment. Again, it's very specific, and it should be only just a few that you would add to your outcomes and standards here. Once I click on Save Assignment, and so you can see that I now have a new assignment here for the Professional Teacher Portfolio. At this point, I have 7 students registered. None of the students have submitted anything, so they are all listed under the submission column. Now, once they have submitted their assignment for grading, their name will automatically be moved to this yellow column, which is the awaiting assessment. These are anything that's listed in the yellow column are the ones that you need to grade. These are waiting for you to grade. And then once you have graded and submitted a grade, they will automatically be moved to the green column, which is the completed column. Going back to my course here, again, we have our assignments, which we can then create a new assignment. And so we can see all the assignments for the course. By simply clicking on the bar, I can go directly to see who needs to submit, which ones I need to grade, and which ones are completed. Another tab in your course is going to be your tab for your students. And this is essentially your grade book. It's going to list all of your students, and it'll have a column for every assignment that you have created in LiveText, and it'll have it will maintain the grades that you have given them on those assignments. So the grade book is built in and automatically maintained for you. Also, for your course, you have your outcomes and standards. These outcomes and standards are the outcomes and standards for the entire course. Again, they're going to be broader than how many are listed for each individual assignment, but it's not going to be every standard in the standards list. Again, each course should be looking at very specific standards, unless you're teaching a capstone course that covers all of them. I also have the ability to add announcements, and these announcements that I put in for my students for my course will show up on the dashboard up in the left-hand corner of the dashboard. And of course, we also have a discussion board where I can add a new topic, where I can create a discussion online for student participation. Again, a quick overview of our course. When you click on your course, you're going to be brought to your course overview. You have your assignments. You can see the students that are registered in your course. And again, this is an automatic grade book that is maintained by LiveText. You have your course outcomes and standards. You can make course announcements, and we can have online discussions.